My silver and brass stuff. Well, basically, it's like this. I used to have this huge museum, basically, of silver and gold and all these beautiful works of art. Anyway, some black people were like, you know what, fuck Lucifer. We're gonna go. We'll just go and fuck this guy. We're gonna go get that shit. And so they go in there and they go and steal it. And I think they melted down most of it actually. But basically, they broke into the museum in China and they basically grab all the shit and basically, or at least a lot of it, they shoot everyone, kill everyone. And they basically attack it with military force and they grab all the silver and all the gold and then they go ahead and take it and they melt it down and make coins or something out of it or turn it into blocks and then basically sell it or whatever or try to get money from it. But basically they're like, fuck Lucifer, yeah, he's a stupid bitch, fuck him, we're just gonna go and get that, we're gonna rape those girls. And they went and raped the women and they did whatever they wanted and they just broke into the museum and they stole, there's lines of beautiful silver, perfect silver statues and jade statues and all these statues, and they're all beautiful, and these gold statues, and it was all beautiful and gorgeous and perfect, finely made, perfectly made. Anyway, they stole it all and they melted it all down, and then they went and put in the museum these vases, which aren't even that old, and like some blind people basically made, and they have them on display. Oh yes, this is a beautiful blah blah, and it's actually a big black joke. It's like, ha ha, fuck Lucifer, stupid bitch, whack. Anyway, I knew about it. I know about it. And I'm not sure exactly what happened to the people that actually stole it. I think they were taken care of. But basically, yeah, I was a stupid bitch of 100 trillion years old and with my own private army that wasn't humans and wasn't even mortal. So, anyway, um, pretty much, I'm pretty sure they get tortured for 1,000 years at some point in time. Like I say, I don't really care if they live their life for about their short little lives for 30 years or whatever. And later on, they kind of get the word of this. They kind of figure out what's going to happen when they die. So they kind of try and stay alive as long as they can. And some of them stay alive for 1,000,000 years, knowing that the moment that they actually die, they're mine. And will be going through extreme amounts of pain for 1,000 years. And eventually they try and kill me and actually even torture me. But because of what I'm going to do to them. Anyway, so basically, yes, I was aware and I found out and actually did it when it actually happened. I found out. And that's, like I say, I wasn't Brian back then. Anyway, I wasn't Brian back then. So basically, and well, they're going to be screaming for about 1,000 years or at least a couple hundred. I'm not exactly sure. It depends on the life forms I gave them to or I had them with, which are life forms that were in existence that nobody really knew about for a very, very long time. In fact, no one, just like me, people had forgotten they existed. But they were always at my beck and call. So, and plus these people kept raiding, kept on attacking the Chinese and basically creating, killing Chinese like crazy. So it was an in-world problem, and they were an other-world problem. So basically, yeah, they're pretty much grabbed, or pretty much when they die, they find out something a little bit more different. That well, I'm not really a bitch, and I was a bitch with time travel capability that just about the whole galaxy actually owes its existence to. So, anyway, and so they spend their money. They melt it all down. They run off. They rape the girls, and they run off, and they leave everyone crying, and they run off, and they laugh, and they joke, and they do drugs, and they party, and everything else like that, and spend the money like crazy. And well, I am Lucifer Star, LS of Lucifer White Star, and of 800 galaxies and quite a few races, 700,000 races. But mostly I just use 9 as my own personal, basically life forms, that I use to do everything else with. So anyway, and humanity really isn't exactly all that much of one. Like I do mess around and spend time with humanity, leading them and stuff like that. But then humanity tries to kill me, so I kind of have to like not include them with a lot of stuff. So basically, I use my other life forms. So anyway, and certain things happen, and basically, there are a couple, like I say, 5 million to 260 million people that are like pretty much screaming for 100 or 1,000 years. Anyway, Lucifer, me, was a person of a different type. And oh well, Like I said, they raped a lot, they killed a lot, they stole a lot, and they melted it down. And they didn't just steal my stuff. They stole other people's stuff too. I was just one of the biggest ones they stole from. So, even if I hadn't done it, because after they stole from me, they assumed that, well, then nobody was ever going to stop them, and no one was ever going to do something about them. And there are other people in this world there, or in this universe, that were at least as dangerous as me, if not more so. And besides, with the added benefit of basically, repaying an honor or a debt to me, pretty much. Because a lot of people actually did owe me and actually did consider me a pretty great person that I actually created the existence of this. Like I said, I figured out particle matter and I actually created that star, insectoid life, plant life, possibly even the bee. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure how much I did, but basically when they stole from that museum, they weren't stealing from the people. The people had done those things for me in homage to say thank you. So, and they also killed the people to get to that stuff. Anyway, so these people racked up quite a bit of, I wasn't the only one that wanted to get to them. But I was the first one who ever had them. So I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. Some of them, I don't know. It doesn't really matter if you're the third person or the first person that tortures the shit out of someone. Anyway, I mean, I didn't really have myself. Like I say, I had people. Kind of like when you spend $100 billion and you say, I want that person to die. He does usually. So anyway, I had that kind of capability before. But these people, the certain people that basically laughed at me and called me bitch and said all those mean things about me and all my people, well, like I say, for them, I reserved a special little place. Actually, like I say, believe it or not, what I did was I actually created another place that wasn't here just for them. Anyway, I was like, I'm going to need someplace private just for these people. Anyway, so, because I knew that they would try to find themselves and I knew that others would try and find them. So, to save them or whatever. And I was like, nope, they're gone. Bye-bye. Anyway, so I was rather upset. And I was also and even more than that, I was annoyed about the fact that those people had worked so hard and cared so much and had done so much for me and for themselves, and that these people were just stepping on them. So they weren't just stepping on me, they were stepping on my people. And so that's when, and about the third or fourth time that they're attacking a Japanese museum, I really got mad, honestly. And then I called in some extra help from a source that wasn't human. Like I said, JFK and Jimmy Carter and a lot of other people assumed that if I was going to ask for help, I'd ask for help from humans. They were mistaken, like I say. So, anyway, and I did this a long time ago, about 50 trillion years ago, so it's already happened. Just because I'm going along in time and space does not mean that, anyway. So, things can happen without me. Free will and all that. So, anyway, yeah, I was that powerful. I was like, like I say, I was really, really, I was scary powerful. Anyway, now I'm human, so it's like, whatever. But anyway, yeah, and maybe I was a little harsh on them. Afterwards, I was like, maybe I was a little harsh, they are only life forms and all that. And I was like, and I actually felt bad, like I say. I was like, maybe I was a little too hard on them. I was going to torture them for 1,000 years, and I thought, 120, 1,000, what's the difference? So I actually cut it short. I was being nice. So, anyway. Yeah, well, I was a little upset. And actually, when other people found out what and why they had stolen the stuff, just to fuck with me, basically, and replaced it, and that was just a big joke. A lot of other people, because they found out, of course, because they talked to them, they tortured them. Actually, other people tortured them, too. Other people found out what was going on, too. So I wasn't the only one. There was like a line of 12, basically, with those people. So, because they didn't just steal from the Chinese, they didn't just steal from the Germans or the Russians. These people were just stealing from everyone because they were black and proud or something. So, anyway.